You are tuned to the Indraprasth channel of Akashvani. Tomorrow is World Child Labour Day. In this backdrop, we now bring you a talk on child labour by Dr. Harsh Pathak.
Namaskar. Today we are focusing on a crucial and often heartbreaking issue, child labour. Observed annually on June 12th, Child Labour Day aims to raise awareness about the plight of millions of children worldwide who are forced into labour, often under hazardous and exploitative conditions. As we delve into the topic, we will explore the current state of mind child labour, share some striking facts and figures, discuss the legal framework in India, and explain why we celebrate this important day on June 12th. Child Labour Day, observed on June 12th, was established by the International Labour Organization in 2002. The day served to focus attention on the global extent of child labour and the actions and efforts needed to eliminate it. June 12th was chosen to align with ILO's goal of promoting decent work for all, emphasizing the need to ensure that all work is performed under conditions of freedom, equity, security, and human dignity. Child labour is a pervasive problem affecting children globally. According to the International Labour Organization, there are approximately 160 million children engaged in child labour worldwide. This staggering number represents about 10% of the global child population. These children are often deprived of their childhood, education, and the chance for a better future. The COVID-19 pandemic has further complicated the situation, pushing millions more children into labour due to economic pressure and school closures. Defining child labour refers to work that deprives children of their childhood, potential and dignity, and that is harmful to physical and mental development. It is important to distinguish between child labour and child work. Not all work done by children is considered child labour. Some light work that does not interfere with their schooling or harm their health can be a normal part of growing up. However, child labour is exploitative and impedes the child's development and education. Forms of child labour. Child labour manifests in various forms including 1. Agriculture. This is the largest sector employing children, with around 70% of child labourers working in agriculture. They often work long hours in extreme weather conditions, exposed to pesticides and dangerous machinery. Number 2, industry. Around 90% of child labour work in industries such as mining, construction, and manufacturing. These environments are hazardous, posing significant risk to children's health and safety. Thirdly, services. Approximately 11% of child labour are involved in services including domestic work, street vending, and tourism. These children are often invisible and highly vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. Fourth, illicit activities. Some children are forced into illegal activities such as drug trafficking, prostitution, and armed conflict. These forms of child labour are among the most dangerous and exploitative. The consequences of child labour. Child labour has severe consequences for the children involved. It deprives them of their right to education, perpetuating the cycle of poverty. Children who work are more likely to drop out of school, limiting their future employment opportunities and earning potential. Moreover, child labour can have devastating effect on physical and mental health. Many child labourers suffer from malnutrition, injuries, and chronic health conditions due to hazardous working conditions. Global effort to combat child labour. Over the years, significant progress has been made in the fight against child labour. Since 2000, there has been a substantial reduction in the number of child labour thanks to concerned effort by government, international organization, and civil society. Key initiatives include international conventions. The ILO's Convention number 138 on the minimum age for admission to employment and Convention number 182 on the worst form of child labour are pivotal in setting global standard for the protection of children from exploitation. Education. Ensuring access to quality education is one of the most effective ways to combat child labour. programs that provide free and compulsory education, vocational training, and financial support to families help keep children in school and out of labor. Legislation and enforcement. Many countries have enacted laws to prohibit child labor and establish minimum working ages. Effective enforcement of these laws, along with robust labor inspection, is crucial to eradicate child labor. Community-based approach. Empowering communities to recognize the importance of education and the dangers of child labor is vital. Community-based programs that raise awareness, support families, and provide alternatives to child labor have proven successful in many regions. Indian laws and constitutional provisions. In India, child labor is a significant concern, and there are several legal provisions aimed at protecting children from exploitation. In Constitution of India, Article 21A provides for free and compulsory education for all children aged 6 to 14 years. Article 24 prohibits the employment of children below the age of 14 in factories, mines, or any hazardous occupation. Article 39E and F directs the state to ensure that children are not abused and that their childhood and youth are protected against exploitation and moral and material abandonment. The Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. This act prohibits the employment of children in certain hazardous occupations and process and regulate the condition of work in others. The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009 ensures that every child between the age of 6 and 14 has the right to free and compulsory education. The Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015 includes provision for the care, protection, and rehabilitation of children in need, including those involved in child labor. While significant progress has been made, much work remains to be done. Here are some ways we can all contribute to the fight against child labor. By raising awareness, educate yourself and others about the issue of child labor, share information and resources on social media, and participate in events and campaigns organized on Child Labor Day. Support ethical practices. As consumers, we can make a difference by supporting companies that adhere to ethical labor practices. Look for certifications such as Fair Trade, which ensure that products are made without the use of child labor. Advocate for change. Advocacy for stronger laws and policies to protect children from exploitation, support organizations working to end child labor, and urge government to prioritize this issue in national and international agendas. Volunteer and donate. Considering volunteer your time or donating to organizations that work to combat child labor, your support can provide resources for education, advocacy, and direct assistance to children in need. Support initiatives that empower communities to address the root cause of child labor, such as poverty and lack of education. Program that provides economic opportunities for families and promote the value of education can have a lasting impact. On this Child Labor Day, let us remember the millions of children around the world who are deprived of their childhood, education, and the chance for a better future. It is our collective responsibility to take action and ensure that every child has the opportunity to grow, learn, and thrive in a safe and nurturing environment. Together, we can make a difference and create a world where no child is forced into labor. And let us all commit to doing our part to end child labor. Jai Hind.
In the backdrop of World Child Labor Day, you just heard a talk on child labor by Dr. Harsh Pathak. This broadcast came to you from the Indraprasth channel of Akashvani. Please stay tuned in for our next broadcast that follows shortly.